Good morning. Friday, April 26th.
Recording in progress.
Thank you. Good morning. The Friday, April the 26th, 2024 regular City of Knoxville Public Officer hearing is called to order at 9:30 a.m. I'm Nicholas Bradshaw, the public officer designated by the mayor as described in the City Code of Ordinances, Article 6, unfit buildings, and charged with addressing properties in the city that are out of compliance with the adopted codes of the City of Knoxville. The adopted codes include the 2018 editions of the following international codes: fire, building, residential, plumbing, mechanical, fuel gas, existing building, energy conservation, swimming pool and spa, and property maintenance, and the 2017 edition of the National Electrical Code. The public officer is authorized to hold hearings, administer oaths and affirmations, examine witnesses, and receive evidence, and issue orders as the result of his findings in determining the condition of buildings that are dangerous, unfit, and injurious to the health and safety of the occupants and/or public. The procedure for the public officer is as follows. Each case will start with a report and presentations of evidence by officers representing various city departments. Today, this will primarily consist of, but is not limited to, evidence presented by Mr. Scott Elder, Neighborhood Codes Enforcement Manager for the City of Knoxville. Mr. Elder is employed by the City of Knoxville and is certified as a property maintenance and housing inspector. Following the city's report and testimony, the owner or owners and/or their legal counsel, as well as any members of the general public, will be given an opportunity to respond. The public officer has the authority to limit this time as per his discretion. Today's agenda will be modified to hear the cases of property owners present at this time and in the order signed up as you entered the hearing room. We make this accommodation to minimize any inconvenience to the owners and members of the public here today. For those actively participating in today's meeting, thank you. Your involvement and active participation is appreciated. As per legal counsel, I need to read the following notice of demolition into the record. Any person who intends to perform work on a structure that the public officer has placed an order against shall first make application to the building official and obtain the required permit. For orders issued by the public officer, please be aware that just obtaining permits and starting rehabilitation of a structure does not invalidate the city's power to take corrective action, such as demolition of a dangerous structure, regardless of the amount of work performed by the owner. All orders are still in effect if the rehabilitation work has not been completed and the structure has not had all final inspections approved within the time provided by the order, or by an extension if one has been granted. Remember, if rehab is not fully complete or an extension is not in place, the structure may be demolished after the order time has expired or after any prior written extension of time has expired without any further notice given to the owner. All right, are there any questions before we start and before all participants are sworn in? All right, all individuals testifying today will need to be sworn in. If you are testifying today, please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Do.
Ms. Burke, please advise me if any individuals who arrive late and need to be sworn in mid-hearing. All right, let's get to our agenda. Ms. Burke, what is our first property?
3846 West Martin Mill Pike.
This property was originally inspected on December 9th of 2019. The building was completely destroyed by a fire, except for the perimeter walls, as you can see in the pictures. There's continual signs of vagrancies. You'll see there's clothes and other signs of human activity there. And no permits or improvements have been done to the building since 2019. So we're recommending a 90-day repair demolition order for this property.
Are there any persons present to speak on this property?
Yes, hi, I'm Sarah Houchins. I work for the owners. We received this on Tuesday, and they were just asking if we could have time to evaluate the building, see what we need to do in the short term and long term. So that was really, just wanted to see if we could have some more time since we just got this on Tuesday.
Yeah, my recommendation is for 90 days.
90
So that'll
days.
give you 3 months. So depending on what the officer does.
Okay.
That's what my recommendation is. He may go longer.
Okay.
What are your intentions at this time?
So I want to get with the owners and go over to the property and evaluate getting it cleaned up, see if we need to make any, close anything off. So we'll definitely address any issues that we see, but we just wanted to have time to actually go do it.
But just to be clear, you've not hired a contractor, pulled a permit, anything like that at this
No.
time?
We have not.
All right, any other discussion?
We would be fine with that, certainly.
That works for us.
All right. Well, I do find that the structure at 3846 West Martin Mill Pike is out of compliance with the codes of the city of Knoxville, an attractive nuisance and is dangerous and injurious to the health and safety of the occupants or public, and I will order the owner to repair or demolish the structure at 3846 West Martin Mill Pike within 90 days. If the owner fails to take corrective action, the structure may be placarded as unfit for human habitation and vacated and closed, and the city may cause the immediate repair or demolition of the building, with the cost of such corrective action being a lien and collected as provided in city code. Thank you. What is our next item?
We're at the top of the agenda, so 1500 Coker Avenue.
This property was originally inspected on January 10th of 2024. The structure was found to be near completion, as you can see in the photos, but it was constructed without building permits or any safety inspections. Due to the lack of the permits and inspections, the building official of the city has deemed this to be an unsafe structure. So we're recommending a 120-day repair order for this structure.
Is there anyone here to speak on this property? Please state your name and address.
Stace Canfield, my living address or the address of the property?
Your address.
2011 Flagler Road. Yeah, we're trying to get the engineers and stuff out there, but everybody's covered up. I've got a contract with a guy, and I think the codes people already know, or some of the people. Went to the other, postponed the other court case or whatever to have the site surveyed, and he says he's gonna look at the property at that time and probably do an engineering letter. I think he said the end of June.
So you do intend to repair this structure, and you're actively working towards it?
Well, I'm waiting for him to do, he's gotta do the I can't do anything. I tried to pull a permit, they won't let me pull a permit to do any repairs or anything because I have to get the survey done first and the engineering letter done. And after I do that, then I can talk about doing some stuff, but I can't do anything now because I haven't got that other stuff done. Can't get the other stuff done because everybody's booked up for like 60 days is what everybody's telling me, so this is the guy, I got to said he'd do it, like I said, end of June.
And Mr. Bradshaw, this is Christina McGraw-Tillery with the City Law Department. I am representing Plans Review and Building Inspections in a city case on this particular matter. We have given an extension through the end of June on that matter for Mr. Campfield to get the appropriate professionals in place to do the work on this property as well.
Okay. I've not done the math, but I think 120 days on a repair order would go beyond that time, right? It's should be more than adequate. Quick math right there.
That would be in August at some point. So our understanding, Mr. Campfield has sent emails from some professionals that he's been in contact with, and he has some draft contracts going. So it does appear that he's taking active steps to get into compliance at this point.
Great.
And as a general policy, we work with people, so as long as you're moving forward.
Yeah,
We're
I'm
good.
trying as
Yeah,
fast
I
as I
get it.
can, trust me, I assure you.
Sure, so as long as you're moving forward and Christina's happy and we're getting somewhere, that's fine. We'll be happy to, if we need to extend that at that point, we
Yeah, I
can
mean,
work with you.
he told me he's gonna do the survey, and if sort of like if he feels like it, he's gonna do the engineering letter too. If he doesn't feel like it, he's gonna say he doesn't feel like it. So as far as I know, he's going to do it at that time. But if he says for some reason he doesn't feel like doing the engineering letter as well, then I have to get that started too, so.
Great. Well, absolutely encourage working together and solving problems. We don't want to go down a different path for sure, but sounds like the 120 days will get us to where we need to go. But we do need to make sure we take care of this structure, so I'm glad to see we're all actively working towards that end one way or the other. So,
Yeah.
anything further?
Well, I just might add that it should be unoccupied, right? So,
There's nobody in it. It's,
Okay.
it's a shed. There's
well, I
nobody
know,
lives
I met with the folks that stay there, and they just frankly told me they're gonna work on cars in there. And until it's safe, it just doesn't need to have humans located
they're
inside,
not.
so.
As far as I know. I mean, it's all tarped up and stuff. They didn't put any doors on it or anything like that.
All right. Anything further? I do find that the structure at 1500 Coker Avenue, accessory structure only, is out of compliance with the codes, of the city of Knoxville, an attractive nuisance and is dangerous and injurious to the health and safety of the occupants or public. And I order the owner to repair the structure at 1500 Coker Avenue, accessory only, within 120 days. If the owner fails to take corrective action, the structure may be placarded as unfit for human habitation and vacated and closed. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so that takes us to 2715 East Fifth Avenue.
Yeah, this was originally inspected on August 3rd of 2011. So, yeah, it was originally condemned in 2012. It was a little before my time, but I imagine it just remains secured, and that's why we've not taken further action. But now it's vacant and dilapidated, as you can see. There's been no recent improvements to the property. There's heavy damage to the roof. The eaves are falling down. That's a good picture there. Most of the doors and windows are broken and boarded up, and it shows the signs of deterioration on every facade. So we're requesting a 120-day repair demolition order for this property.
Is anyone here to speak to this property? So this was ordered, there was a 120-day repair demo order done in 2011? And then, what's the history on that?
Well, again, before my time, but I imagine it just remains secured, and we allow that as long as it doesn't fall into this state or become a public nuisance. As long as it's boarded and secured and mowed and kept up, we allow people to do that. So I imagine that's what's occurred here. So after 10 years, we come back for another order per our council. So this is seeking a second one that's more updated to the current conditions.
Understood, all right. I find that the structure at 2715 East Fifth Avenue is out of compliance with the codes of the city of Knoxville, an attractive nuisance, and is dangerous and injurious to the health and safety of the occupants or public. And I do order the owner to repair or demolish the structure at 2715 East Fifth Avenue within 120 days. If the owner fails to take corrective action, the structure may be placarded as unfit for human habitation and vacated and closed, and the city may cause the immediate repair or demolition of the building, with the cost of such corrective action being a lien and collected as provided in city code. All right, this takes us to 4605 Lonis Drive. Mr. Elder?
Yeah, this house was inspected on February 6th of this year. House, as you can see, has been heavily damaged by fire and left in this burned-out condition. The utilities have been removed, and as you can see, most of the doors and windows are broken out. Property has been boarded by the city. We're recommending a 90-day repair demolition order for the main structure and the accessory structures.
All right, right, and there's no one here to speak on behalf of this property. I find the structure at 4605 Lonis Drive is out of compliance with the codes of the city of Knoxville, an attractive nuisance, and is dangerous and injurious to the health and safety of the occupants or public. I order the owner to repair or demolish the structure at 4605 Lonis Drive within 90 days. If the owner fails to take corrective action, the structure may be placarded as unfit for human habitation and vacated and closed, and the city may cause the immediate repair or demolition of the building, with the cost of such corrective action being a lien and collected as provided in city code.
Mr. Bradshaw, can you clarify that the accessory structure is included in that?
Yes, ma'am, the accessory structure is included along with the main structure. All right, we've got, the next item is 317 Macedonia Lane, including the accessory structure.
Yeah, this house was originally inspected on April 4th of this year. It was found to, when we got there, the house was found to be occupied without utilities and hazardous interior conditions. And you issued an emergency repair order on April 5th this year. House was vacated and placarded on the 10th of April. So we're here to just request a confirmation of your April 5th emergency order.
All right, I affirm the finding that the structure at 317 Macedonia Lane, including the accessory structure, is out of compliance with the codes of the city of Knoxville, an attractive nuisance, and is dangerous and injurious to the health and safety of the occupants or public. And I affirm the existing emergency order to repair the structure at 317 Macedonia Lane, including accessory. If the owner fails to take corrective action, the structure will remain placarded as unfit for human habitation and vacated. Takes us to 2821 Selma Avenue. Mr. Elder?
Yeah, this house was originally inspected on March 26th, 2019. It was found vacant and secured at that time, but it was re-inspected again this year, February 1st, and found to be in this condition, dilapidated. Front left corner of the building is collapsing due to foundation damage. Significant damage is to every elevation that's collapsing due to that damage. Further foundation failure could result in a collapse. It's actually gotten worse since February. Cracks are getting larger. So we're recommending a 90-day repair demolition order for this house. Unfortunately, it's a nice little house.
It does have some nice features. It's a shame. There's no one here to speak on this property. All right, I do find that the structure at 2821 Selma Avenue is out of compliance with the codes of the city of Knoxville, an attractive nuisance, and is dangerous and injurious to the health and safety of the occupants or public. I order the owner to repair or demolish the structure at 2821 Selma Avenue within 90 days. If the owner fails to take corrective action, the structure may be placarded as unfit for human habitation and vacated and closed, and the city may cause the immediate repair or demolition of the building, with the cost of such corrective action being a lien and collected as provided in city code. Next item on our agenda is the 6618 Vance Road, including accessory structures.
Yeah, this was originally inspected on December 26th of '23. House has been heavily damaged by fire and left in a burned-out state, as you can see. Utilities have been removed from the property. Most of the doors are broken. There's other damage, looks like pellets, shotgun pellets or something on the side of the vinyl. But it's been occupied by folks in campers. There's at least 2 campers that have been underneath that area there. And it's, as you can see, cluttered heavily with garbage, debris, and inoperable vehicles from time to time. So we're recommending a 90-day repair demolition order for this property.
I notice it's accessory structures, plural. How many are we talking about?
My understanding is there's two substantial ones. There might be one of those is just one of those temporary tent pole type things. And that's where the campers are. They pulled a camper underneath that one and have been staying there.
Okay. All right, I do find that the structure at 6618 Vance Road, including the accessory structures, is out of compliance with the codes of the city of Knoxville, an attractive nuisance, and is dangerous and injurious to the health and safety of the occupants or public. I order the owner to repair or demolish the structure at 6618 Vance Road, including the accessory structures, within 90 days. If the owner fails to take corrective action, the structure may be placarded as unfit for human habitation and vacated and closed, and the city may cause the immediate repair or demolition of the building, with the cost of such corrective action being a lien and collected as provided in city code. I believe that brings us back to 4605 Lonis Drive again. Boarding.
Right, it's just a boarding, it was inspected on February 6th, it was found vacant and unsecured at the time, and we boarded it, city was subsequently boarded it on February 19th of '24, so we're seeking approval of those boarding charges.
All right, I approve the boarding action taken by the City Public Service Department and affirm the charges related to the corrective action for the structure at 4605 Lonis Drive, due to the building being an attractive nuisance and dangerous and injurious to the health and safety of the community, being open and accessible to children and members of the general public. No other business? All right, being no other business brought before the public officer on this day, the hearing is adjourned at 9:52 a.m. Thank you, everyone.